Good day, everybody, and what is up? Welcome to the podcast for Selfless Sex and She Comes First. My name is Dr. Nick Meyer, sitting here on Sunday, October 20th, kind of in the afternoon, rainy outside. I guess some storm system came up and dumped like 4 inches around here or whatever. Streets are flooded, but I still want to talk about sex, so I guess it'll be okay. So once again, I just say thank you for everyone sharing these podcasts with their friends and family, and definitely hitting that like button or giving me the thumbs up on whatever medium you are using to listen to this podcast on, be it Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, or whatever. I mean, it really does mean a lot because I'm on par to have another big month with my podcast. So once again, thank you guys so much. And on that note, today I just want to talk about something called the importance of touch and the importance of sexual touch. So let's get into that today. So about a month or so ago, I did another podcast on the importance of kissing, which, as you all know, is another form of touch. And my personal opinion is that it's an overlooked form of touch which can increase the intimacy in your relationship pretty easily. So I found an article in Psychology Today where they talk about different types of touch depending on the situation. So if you're meeting with colleagues and things like that, you're using a form of professional touch. You're probably just shaking hands and looking at each other in the eye as you're talking to show forms of respect and such on and so forth. You get that. And then you want to move on to like friendship touching, where like you may actually give your friend a hug, and or touch them on their shoulder, something like that. I got friends of mine for 20, 30, 40 years I haven't seen, or people who I've been friends with for that long. And of course I give them a hug. It's like, man, they're like family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course there's that type of touching too. And then if you want to move into more love and sexual type of touch, here we go. So for example, let's say that you are dating and you're out amongst other people, you're being social, so most likely you will hold hands. That's typically how our touching starts, is by holding hands. Then like you move into more friendly type of touching where you kind of accidentally bump into each other on purpose, quote unquote. And you may even start to give like light hugs or walk closer. There are things that we do that we may not even think about, but we may actually start to physically get closer as the relationship starts to progress, which is always fun. And then when you want to move into more intimate types of touch, of course, the hugs typically increase in length, and you're kissing now, which goes back to something that I said a minute ago about the importance of kissing. And then there's moving into more intimate and more sexual touching. And depending on kissing, I always go back to kissing, the tongue may or may be involved, which is great. If that's your thing, it is. If it isn't, don't worry about it. And you also may be kissing someone on their neck, on their chest, on their thigh, and or touching them on their neck, chest, or thigh, which in many cases could be a form of foreplay leading you into some sort of sexual activity. So once again, touch is very important, but I also want to talk about the importance of sexual touch. But before I get there, I have one question. Is touch more important than sex? So here I'm going to mention a website I came across called P.S. I Love You, and there was an essay written on that website where the author discussed an research article that found that couples who were in long-term relationships, that they ranked touching higher than sexual intercourse or sex. Like for example, on the rating scale of 1 through 10, they ranked sex and sexuality as number 6, but they rated touching or non-sexual touching higher than sex. So I was just wondering, how accurate is that? in these long-term relationships. So for those people in the study, they felt that holding hands and cuddling and even spooning was more important than sex and sexuality. So I'm sitting here wondering why, just why. I am not saying it's good or bad either way, but I'm just wondering, do you think that we should put more emphasis on our own sexual health and incorporate maybe more sexual touching, not necessarily non-sexual touching or sexuality, but kind of find something in the middle of sexual touching where it's kind of more fun, it's more light, it's flirty, and it also lets your partner know that you want them in a sexual way, but you really can't because you're out in public or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to work through that myself right now, this second. So I'm just wondering, is there something that we can do to raise up sexuality or incorporate sexual touching on that list, and raise it up some? Because me being a sexual health advocate, I strongly and truly believe that sexual health is very important in one's relationship. So in closing, I think it may be time for us as a culture and a society to take a new look at our own sexual health to see what's going on. And I mean, is there a way to incorporate non-sexual touching into your sexuality where you can kind of come up with some sort of sexual touching that's fun and light and not so serious, but it also conveys a sort of intimacy to your partner? And also, I want to add just a couple questions and some points here too. And going back to sexual health, my suggestion is to make your sexual health a priority again. Because if you think about it, on that list, it fell off to number 6. And maybe in your life, it could have been 7 or 8 or 10. I don't know. That's your relationship. I can't speak for you. But if it fell off down to 4 or 5 or 2 or 1, you may have to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, why did it fall off? And what can you do to get it back up there again? And also, there's this. Speaking of sexual touching, what does sexual touching look like for you? And do you think your partner or partner would be open to it? And I have to say this, because I'm not going to get in trouble for you guys. It can be based on location. Because if you guys are out doing some sort of sexual touching and the cops are called, don't blame me. Well, Dr. Nick said we should be engaging in more sexual touching. But yeah, I said that, but I didn't say nothing about you blowing your man in public, causing a disturbance. No, I didn't say that. Don't blame me for shit. No, I didn't say that at all. What I'm saying is there is some common sense here. So if you're out in public, maybe you can just figure out something that works for you, that's cute, that's fun, and you won't end up in jail. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, maybe there's some sort of happy medium that you guys can find between the non-sexual touching and the sexual touching that's good for everybody. And I know men, guys, we typically focus on the breasts and the butt or something like that. Maybe we should try to figure out something else that she likes so we can touch her some other places, that also can convey our level of sexual interest in her. And women, same thing, because you may just want to grab him on his crotch, through his jeans or whatever. That's cute, but are there other things that you can do that can be done in public or semi-public, that's some sort of sexual touching that's fun for everybody? So I'm going to leave that question right there. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned.
Oh, please be sure to hit that like button or thumbs up or whatever. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.